to try and square off my tyres a little bit really, because I've been doing a serious amount of motorway miles. My commute is 70 miles each way, so 140 miles a day, and what, 55 of that is on the motorway, so 15 miles through traffic. Well, the Blackwall Tunnel, so probably a bit less. Fuck, it's boring, but to go the A20, it's fine, but it just takes forever. Sometimes you just want to get home, especially in the evenings. And this bike's pretty good for the motorway. I'm still kind of getting used to tipping it over. I've only been riding for about 5 months, 6 months probably. So not very long at all. So you'll probably see me making loads of mistakes. But I'm slowly getting used to this bike. I want to progress up onto something. I think I want a Gixxer 750. This is a 600 and it's pretty quick. Well, it's really quick for me anyway, for a new. But I'm not 100% confident in leaning over and tight turns. And what I tend to do is when I'm going around a bend, in my head I'm like, right, look through, don't target fixate, and then all I do is target fixate because I'm thinking about it. I kind of haven't got to that stage where I can just ride through the bends like relaxed. The whole time I'm kind of looking for my my route through, and then also at the back of my mind it's just look through, but don't target fixate, and that's all I end up doing then. So I just need to keep doing some A roads and B roads at my own pace, just sort of getting used to being at one on the bike, I suppose. That's what it is, isn't it? I suppose riding roads that you're familiar with. I mean, I don't know any of the roads down here, nothing. So every corner to me, which I can't see, it's a blind bend. I suppose it's always good to approach a corner, you know, with hesitation if you're not too sure how tight it is or where the exit is. But yeah, that's all I need to kind of maybe go down the A20 and have a couple of rips down there doing different corners and just going back on myself and trying to memorise a route so I know the corners and I know how far I can tip in, and not try to get my knee down because that will come eventually, but I just kind of want to feel confident gassing through corners or coming out of corners and gassing, slow in, fast out and all that. I haven't been on the bike for about 6 days, so it always takes me a bit of time. And one thing I have noticed actually, I sit on the motorway for an hour each way, or just under an hour, like maybe 50 minutes. It's just a straight line, 5,000-6,000 revs, just going cruising along at 85 or whatever. And when I come off the slip road for my junction, there's quite a steep, quite a tight roundabout. And that's the first time I realised I've been sort of locked in a body position for a long time, and I've rigid and cold. Well, not necessarily cold, but just I'm not loose on the bike. So when I'm going around the roundabout, I've noticed that I'm struggling to kind of tip in a little bit. So what I've started to do now on the slip road is just ease off a little bit and just kind of loosen up, shaken up, swirl the bike around a little bit before I hit the roundabout, and then it seems to kind of refocus my leaning and my concentration, because motorway riding is easy and it's probably the safest riding you can do on a motorbike, I would have thought. I mean, I've only been riding for 5-6 months and I'm a lot more confident on the motorway, but that's just because you're just holding the speed and it's quite easy. I suppose the only time it becomes a bit of a concern is when at night time or in the wet. That's when it's not that nice. And and you're getting blasted with spray and shit, and you've only got your sort of one headlight, and you're just trying to make sure that people can see you and aren't going to run into you. But no, I seem to be okay on the motorway. My main issue with people coming, I've had a few close calls, but they're always coming off the motorway, heading into town, people not paying attention and stuff, whereas the motorway, everyone is a bit more alert, I think. But I think even after a few months, I feel a lot more confident than I did when I first started. I mean, I used to feel like a bigger stiff dildo on the bike, and I'm a lot looser now and exploring my kind of limits and pushing them a little bit every time. But it just takes time, really. You kind of, I mean, I didn't even ride a 125 really. I just went straight off my test, saved up and bought, this is my first bike, a GSX 650F. It's a big sports tour, and I got it knowing that I'm going to be commuting to London. Now the weather's a little bit nicer, that's kind of what I started to do. But the train is so expensive, I kind of haven't really had much choice, which is a good thing, I suppose, because I tend not to ride in the wet as much at the moment. I'm not that confident. But yeah, slowly building it up. I mean, if compared to where I was 6 months ago to where I am now, then yeah, kind of looking forward to kind of seeing how I can get on. When I'm old, well, I'm 30 now, so when I'm proper old, I do not want to retire in this town, in this city, not even in this city, what I'm talking about, in this country. You will find me on a beach, somewhere hot, with my old man Willie out, being a pervert.